Hey there, it's the old tech guy again, and I'm talking about splitters, combiners, and taps. A lot of times when we're talking about RF signal flow, we kind of compare it to water because at least then you can understand what's going on. And you can think about taking a plain old splitter like you'd have for a hose. You put water in and you split it two ways. Half the water goes here, half the water goes there. It's the same thing with signal. And the problem is, of course, you'll lose half of the water depending on where it's going. And that's important. If you're splitting a signal, you split it into two, you're losing half. You split it into four, you're losing 3/4 of that signal every time that you split. If you split it into eight, you're losing 87.5% of that signal out of each port. And that's why you don't see even bigger splitters, because the loss would be ridiculous. A combiner is really just an upside down splitter. It's used for a couple of reasons. You might want to take two antennas pointing the same way and combine them so you get more power. You might want to take two antennas pointing two different directions so that you can get channels in Milwaukee and channels in Chicago at the same time. More power to you if you want to do that. And combiners are also used in cable television so that you can take all the channels and put them on one wire, and then you hook them to a TV through a cable box, and you just decide which channel that you want. Some combiners are called diplexers. A diplexer is a special kind of splitter slash combiner that's specifically designed to block out, so one set of frequencies come in here, one set of frequencies come in here, and they don't interfere with each other. It's not done a whole lot anymore, but in the early days of satellite, it was done so you could have antenna signals and satellite on the same line. Very rarely done anymore because, truth is, it doesn't work very well, not for home use. And then there's taps. Taps are a special kind of splitter. See, with a tap, instead of having the same amount of water coming out both, you have a lot of water coming out one and a little water coming out the other. You can actually do this with plumbing, where if you're running a water main through the house, you have a much smaller line that goes to your sink so you don't blow the fixture off of the vanity, which, by the way, I've done that, and it's not a lot of fun. So taps are the same thing. If you have a signal that's traveling from the roof of a tall building all the way down to the bottom, you want that signal to be super duper strong. So strong, in fact, that it would probably fry anything that you hook it up to. And by the way, I've done that too. So you use a tap to send the really big part of the signal one direction, and then a relatively small amount of signal goes off in another direction so that you can have just the right amount when it goes into whatever the TV or satellite receiver or cable box or router that you're going to use. For the most part, taps aren't used at home, with the exception of cable TV, where they're used a little bit so that, again, you're getting the right amount of signal going into the house. So don't worry too much about taps unless it's something that you're wiring for a commercial building, but do this. If you're looking for a splitter, combiner, diplexer, or a tap, shop at Solid Signal. SolidSignal.com has everything you need, not only for you to live your best digital life, but for every commercial project that you might need. Check out the selection of tens of thousands of hard-to-find parts that you'll find at SolidSignal.com. Still not finding what you're looking for? Well, call 877-312-4547 and a qualified technician will help you out. Shop SolidSignal.com.